Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon this time, not this morning. Welcome back. Thank you for joining us. I'm Steve,
And I'm Scott.
and together we are Backyard Musings, the Science and Technology channel.
Yeah, and today we're talking about a very cool topic, health related, and this is gonna revolutionize um, things for people that have spinal cord injuries, and this is amazing. So
Yeah,
here
this
we
is
go.
where health and technology come together. It's pretty cool.
Yep.
Researchers have found that precisely targeted electrical stimulation of the brain can recreate a sense of touch in people with spinal cord injuries. Now, remember, the other day, 2 days ago, Scott, we talked about diamonds, thin diamonds that could,
Membranes.
yeah, that could do electrical, that create electrical when you bend it.
Yeah.
Maybe this is working here. Researchers at the University of Pittsburgh and the University of Chicago followed 5 people with spinal cord injuries who received implanted brain-computer interface devices. Over a combined 20 years of implant use, the systems delivered about 168 million electrical pulses to the brain without causing any serious adverse events. Well, that's good. That's brain control. Would
Yeah.
you like to know more?
Published in Science Translational Medicine on July 15th of this year, the study is the longest investigation so far of intracortical microstimulation in humans. It provides rare evidence that artificial touch signals can remain safe and relatively stable, not just for months, but for years. Pretty cool.
Yeah, quote, this research plants a flag in the ground for the safety, oh, this is propaganda, and utility of using brain-computer interfaces to deliver sensory stimulation in clinical settings and eventually in people's homes, said senior author Robert Gaunt, associate professor of physical medicine and rehabilitation, and a member of Pitt's Rehab Neural Engineering Labs School of Medicine. Woo! Continuing his quote, for brain-computer interface to have real impact on people's lives, they need to keep working safely and reliably for years. This study shows that microstimulation in the brain can do exactly that.
All right. Brain computer interfaces, or BCIs, translate neural activity into commands that can operate computers, robotic limbs, and other devices. So they could possibly walk, right? If they're paralyzed, they could walk.
Yeah, well, I've seen stories where like a paraplegic, they bypass that break in the spinal column and they connect sensors down below it and they can actually move around.
Right. Some systems also work in reverse by sending information into the brain. In this case, tiny electrical pulses were delivered to the somatosensory cortex, the region that processes touch from the body.
Yeah, it's different from tomatosensory cortex. Very different.
Okay.
Okay. That feedback could be crucial for making neuroprosthetic devices more useful. People normally rely on touch to judge pressure, grip strength, texture, and contact. Without it, controlling a robotic hand depends heavily on vision and can require far more concentration.
Pitt's Rehab Neural Engineering Labs and researchers at the University of Chicago have helped push the field forward for more than a decade. In 2012, a Pitt investigator-led team was among the first to implant electrodes in the motor cortex so a paralyzed person could control a robotic arm. By 2015, the researchers were stimulating the sensory cortex to add a sense of touch. The University of Chicago implanted its first participant with electrodes in both the motor and sensory cortex in 2020. So, okay.
The 5 volunteers in the new study allowed researchers to address questions that short experiments cannot answer. They examined whether repeated stimulation caused harmful effects, whether artificial sensations spread to unintended parts of the body, and whether those sensations weakened or changed with time.
The results were encouraging. Electrical pulses aimed at the hand area of the somatosensory cortex continue to produce sensations associated with the hand, Even after years of stimulation, those sensations did not drift to unrelated regions of the body.
That's cool.
Cross-wiring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lingering effects were also uncommon. A persistent sensation occurred only about once every 23,000 stimulation trials on average. Most disappeared within 10 seconds after stimulation stopped. None caused pain and none required medical treatment. That's good.
Yeah. The main limitation was declining electrode performance. Across participants, an average of 64% of the electrodes remained functional. In one person, 60% were still working after 10 years in the brain, although the rate of decline increased later in the study.
That's
So about
sounds
10
like a
years
short
then.
thing. Yeah. Here's a quote. This shows that this technology doesn't just have to be a short-term solution we test in the lab. Industry can start developing long-term take-home solutions for patients, said lead author Charles Greenspan, an assistant professor in the Department of Neurological Surgery at the University of Chicago.
Similar forms of microstimulation are also being explored in brain regions involved in vision and hearing, raising the possibility that the same basic strategy could eventually help restore several lost senses. Very cool. So this almost sounds like, maybe after 7 or 8 years, you go in for a little overhaul.
Yeah.
You get a rebuild or something. So, but this is
but
fascinating stuff.
I want to caution you on that. Let's say like LASIK, when they advertise LASIK, it's like, oh, it's wonderful, your eyes, and you can get updates anytime you want, right? So they do the LASIK, like for me, and then 10 years later, my sight went from 2020 to 2030, and I went back in to get the tweak that was part of the deal, and the doctor says, no, medically, my medical opinion is that we wait until you have cataracts. Like, come on, man. You advertised tweaks at any time. It's like a bait and switch. So let's hope this isn't the same thing.
Right. Well, and also with that LASIK, right? Don't they tell you right away that eventually, it's not a one and done deal, right? You're going to eventually have to have your eyesight is eventually going to sour again.
They didn't
right?
tell me that. That doctor didn't tell me that.
Yeah. So when I was asking about it, and this was probably 12 years ago, 13 years ago, I asked my ophthalmologist about it, or optometrist about it. And he said, yeah, you could do it. You wouldn't be a real great candidate because of the way your eyes are, but it's not going to be a one and done. You'll eventually have to start wearing glasses again. In fact, you may still need to wear glasses. Your prescription just might not be as strong. So I opted to say, I'm not going to invest the money. And back then, I want to say it was about $2,500 an eye. It may have been more than that, but I think that was the going rate at that time. I don't know what it is. What is it now? How long ago did you have that?
I got it in 2005, and it was $2,500 per eyeball, but I only had to pay 20% out of pocket. TRICARE paid the rest. It was right after I came home from Iraq. And nowadays, $600 per eyeball, $500 per eyeball.
So
and
that
special, we did that segment about the electrostimulation deforming the eye. That might be the next new thing.
Yeah. It's like anything like that, right? They keep advancing it, then it gets better and less expensive. So, $500 or $600 an eye, that might be worth it. Because what's a pair of glasses cost nowadays? If you don't have insurance, you can easily pay $500-$600 for a pair of glasses.
Yeah,
easily,
definitely.
So, but anyway, this is a pretty cool story.
All right, folks, thanks for joining us. We'll catch you tomorrow.
Yep. Take care, everyone. Have a great rest of your afternoon.